Nicki Minaj. See, we got to talk to young people. They know. Born in Trinidad, moved to New York in 1982. She said according to her father drank heavily, took drugs, and once tried to kill her and her mother in the house. She graduated from LaGuardia High School, and she specialized in music and performing arts. She participated in the drama program, and she initially planned to sing at LaGuardia, but lost her voice on audition day. But as we know, she didn't give up. She's a Christian, and on Christmas Day, she indicated her faith by tweeting her faith in Jesus by tweeting John 3:16. Now she states that after her father went to rehab and started attending church, he gave his life to Christ and started changing his life. And if you see pictures of her today, you'll notice that she has some graphics or a tattoo on her arm. In Chinese, that means that she said, God is always with me. And what are her heroes in her life? She said, God and my mother. So I say again, seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these things will be added unto you. Moreover, God says that I will give you the things that you have not even asked for in your lifetime. He knows what college you need to go to. He knows what financial aid you need. He even knows the right person for you to marry. He knows all that ahead of time because he knows you. Now, he has two kinds of will. He has a divine will and a permissive will. You want to operate in his divine will. So that's the first thing, know God. Second thing, honor your father and your mother. I said, Reggie, what are you talking about here? What does that got to do when you're up against a trouble? It has everything to do with it. You're not the first person to go through what you're going through now. Your parents have done it and done it well. This is the first promise of the Ten Commandments that has a consequence. Why in the world would you want to be so successful if you don't enjoy your life? Take care of your parents, and God says that I will give you long life. Anybody know Aubrey D. Graham?
That's Drake.
There you go, Drake. These people know what I'm talking about. Aubrey D. Drake Graham said that when my parents divorced and he dropped out of high school. But again, that thing called plans. God had plans for Drake's life. Drake said he had to quickly grow up and protect the one person that he loved the most, and that was his mother. So on this Mother's Day weekend, I challenge you, and I know you will, to not only find a way to honor her, but give her the best that you can. And God has already said that he will honor you with long life. Third step, you have to face whatever problem it is in order to fix it. Some of you may know Reverend William D. Watley, but you may know his son, Reverend Watley, who pastors at Reed Temple AME Church. He wrote in his many books, you can't go through life blaming mommy, daddy, our background, poverty, our looks, sex, or the system for what's wrong with us. At some point, we must decide who we will serve and whom we will listen to. And that's why before we can fix what's wrong in our lives, we need to face ourselves, because oftentimes it's us. General Colin Powell, arguably, no one would say he's not a successful person. But years ago, about 10 years ago, some of us remember him going to the UN and talking about weapons of mass destruction. He said that was a blot on his record. A blot on his record. But he is now coming out with a new book. It has taken him a while, but he's not facing responsibility for that decision. Clearly, it wasn't all his part, but he is now saying, look, I was mad mostly at myself for not having smelled the problem. My instincts failed me. But the good news is that God is right there to get us right back on track. And finally, folks, we in Omega take this thing called perseverance very serious. Never, never, never give up. Brothers, you remember you had to decide whether you were a graduate or undergraduate. Was this thing really worth it? Because there was at a point where it was difficult pledging this fraternity. And we've all been there. As an undergraduate, how do you keep your grades up while you're going through the process? As a graduate brother, how do you keep up with your job, your wife, your family, while seeking to wear royal purple and old gold? You see, some of us take this thing very seriously because we want you to take some things very seriously in life. And even after you pledge Omega, Omegas are still hard on you. I had a roommate after I graduated. We were at Fort Bragg, young lieutenant. His name was Darrell Bennett. Darrell Bennett is a member of Gamma Epsilon chapter, Hampton University. He pledged in the fall of 1980. Like I said, Omega seems to graduate to some of the most difficult and hardest things to do. Why? Because it's there. I was going through a course called Jump Master at the 82nd Airborne Division. And that's a course where you go through, either you pass or fail. And I failed. And so I went home. Now, mind you now, I own the house Darrell lives in. But I went home feeling sorry for myself. And Darrell looked at me, and I'm already a Omega. Pledged at Zionside chapter, proud Omega. Darrell looked at me and said, Reggie, he said, dog, Omegas don't fail. Period. I mean, I was expecting sympathy. Darrell got on me so hard that I said, oh no, dog, not only am I going to go back, I'm going to pass. Because I wasn't listening to this guy's my roommate, and I was not going back to my unit having failed. So I thank God for Darrell Bennett. You must continue to persevere, no matter what happens. Michael Jordan got cut. Y'all know the story?
Yeah.
He got cut in high school. What did he do? We know the story now. He went back. Dr. Martin Luther King failed in his first pastorate. They didn't want him. Can you imagine that? In Omaha, they did not want him, and he was the only man in 1955 to have a PhD in systematic theology. But the church said, no, dog, we don't want you. Not now. But the folks in Montgomery are very happy he went down there. And finally, President Obama is now probably the nation's most instantly recognized figure and politician who seems like he has the golden touch in everything. But it wasn't always that way. In March of 2000, when then State Senator Obama made his first run for Congress, he lost. And who did he lose to? Anybody know? Folks can't recognize his name, the guy he lost to. But the guy he lost to was named Bobby Rush. Bobby Rush was a former Black Panther. Bobby Rush had served in Congress about 8 years prior to President Obama, then candidate Obama or State Senator Obama challenging him. President Obama told NPR in 2004, before he became president, after he lost that race, he said, I had to really look at myself and ask myself, why am I doing this? Is it to get attention? Or is it to help people? Even in losing that first congressional race, President Obama made political friends, he gained fundraising experience, and he continued to move. The fact is that it's almost as if he hadn't even lost it all. So the question now is, and we know the rest is history, what are you going to do when you're up against a trouble? And the bottom line we're here to tell you today is to don't quit. Nobody, and I repeat again, nobody ever drowned in sweat. Age wrinkles the body, but quitting wrinkles the soul. By perseverance, the snails made it to the ark. And the world has a habit of making room for the man or the woman whose words and actions show that he or she can. Perseverance. Perseverance is the foundation of all actions. Rest if you must, but don't you quit. You've already heard the poem, when you're up against a trouble. Rest if you must, but don't you quit. One of the key things in closing that we want to share with you is that you need God on your side. I didn't believe that for a while, even though I was already in church. I was a business owner at one point in my life, and I had this business in northeastern Pennsylvania. One night I was watching television, and the owner of the business was on TV. First of all, do y'all like Hers potato chips? Anybody know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Hers, you know. The owner, Jim Hur, he writes in front of his book, I do like Hers, that's my weakness, y'all. I found the book of Proverbs to be especially helpful, and this is why I would like to share it with you. Many times these proverbs are insightful in making business and communication decisions. They are firm and to the point. By reading a chapter each day, the book can be completed in a month. And even after many times, though, there are still new things to be found. I encourage you to highlight the verses that are meaningful to you as you read. I contacted Jim Hurt when I was in business. Jim Hurt wrote me back. Just recently, Jim Hurt passed. And this book right here, Chips of Wisdoms, I said, send me some, Jim, because of everything that we want to give our young people, we want to give them something to stand on. And I don't know how many of you that are here today, but we're going to ask the brothers that each of you have this. It's small enough that you can put in your pocket and keep with you. But I guarantee you, if you study this book, Simple Proverbs, you will not go wrong. God will continue to bless you, and may heaven smile upon you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.